Good morning, judges. My name is Kylie Bosom, your 2020 Claremont County Petite Miss Agriculture USA. We live on a small farm where we breed, raise, and show pigs. What does agriculture mean to me? It means more than just a corn field and a animal farm. It means food and relationships and animals. Food nourishes our bodies and gives us energy. Did you know that the flu vaccine is based off of eggs? I enjoy family gatherings and the big meal. I learned how to take care of our animals, and I just gave a shot to one of our baby pigs the other day. I know how to, I'm learning how to feed them and take care of them and to keep them safe. I like animals so much, I really want to be a vet. Relationships, the time spent with people that you love the most. Like when we were cleaning the pen for our pigs, all of us, Mom, Dad, Alex, and I, and spending time with them is really a good time to bond and build up trust and love with your project. Friends at fair. I made friends at fair, but not only fair, Miss Agriculture and school too. My name is Kylie Bosom, your 2020 Claremont County Petite Miss Agriculture USA. Thank you.
Agriculture is important to me is a lot of different reasons. Another way agriculture is important to me are my pigs. I will show these in the summer. I have 3 girls and 2 bears. Another way agriculture means to me is beef production. Another way agriculture means to me is wheat production. After we harvest this wheat, it would be straw for my pigs. Another way agriculture means to me is planting. This is our planter. Another way agriculture means to me is after you plant, you have to spray stuff. This is what you spray on. Another way agriculture is important to me is planting. This is our planter. Another way agriculture is important to me is harvesting. This is our combine. This is how you take stuff off the field. Another way agriculture is important to me is the sprayer. That's what you put the chemicals in for the crops to grow. Another way agriculture means to me is when you raise pigs or cows, you need a poop spreader. You spread it on the fields, then it gives nutrients to the crops, and it's just like soil. Another way agriculture is important to me is pork production. This is our farrowing barn. Another way agriculture means to me is crop production. This field behind me will be planted soon. Another way agriculture means to me is pork production. These are my mommy and daddy pigs. These are all the reasons agriculture is important to me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie Wolfer, and this is what agriculture means to me. Agriculture is very important to me in the everyday life. Agriculture means a lot to me by providing almost everything I have. 4-H, responsibilities, animals, and grain are just a couple of the main things. I love having the agriculture life. Agriculture provides almost everything I have. My family and I farm for a living, and without agriculture we would not be able to do what we love, farming. With farming comes fields. I personally love to ride around on a gator or four-wheeler on a sunny day. So another reason agriculture is important to me is so I can have fields to ride around in. I love agriculture because it is so easy to advocate for, and I love it very much. My family and I have a website and Facebook page for our farm. On those, I love posting our life which advocates for agriculture. A lot of people don't realize that most of their stuff in their house is made from grain, soybeans, and so much more from the agriculture world, and I am so lucky to realize that. To me, 4-H, responsibilities, and animals are a huge part of agriculture. I have been involved in 4-H for 8 years, 3 years as a killer bud and 5 years in 4-H. With 4-H comes a lot of responsibilities, including taking care of your animals, making sure they are trained for the county or state fair of which you choose, and so much more. Grain is one of my favorite parts of agriculture because it provides families with what they need. My family and I are so lucky to provide grain for export, corn syrup, animal feed, ethanol, and flour. Another reason grain is one of my favorites is because I love to bake and cook, and without grain I would not be able to bake or cook. Also, all pop is made with corn syrup, and without corn we would not have corn syrup, which means no pop. In conclusion, agriculture is very important to me because it provides almost everything I have. Agriculture is a huge responsibility, and grain is one of the most important things in the agriculture world. This is why agriculture means so much to me. Thank you.
My name is Lillian Stutz. I am a Claremont County Junior Miss Agriculture. The meaning of agriculture describes the practice of growing crops and raising livestock. Someone who works as a farmer is in the agriculture industry. Agriculture is important to me because it provides my family with a reliable source of food, clothing, and even shelter. Agriculture is the entire backbone of our economy. If there's no agriculture, there would not be any healthy population to support any occupations. Agriculture has provided me with important friendships I've made in 4-H, and I've made unforgettable memories. 4-H has also been a way for me to learn agricultural skills, mostly about taking care of different animals and developing my leadership skills. Rodeo shows and livestock shows are really entertaining and fun when you're in the agriculture community. Though it is really hard work, it's always worth it. This gives me many opportunities for my future colleges and helps people find many jobs. Agriculture is essential to life, so what Brenda Shope has said, once in a while in life, you will need a doctor, a lawyer, a policeman, even a preacher, but every day, 3 times a day, you will need a farmer.
What does agriculture mean to me? Agriculture is more than farming, clothing, or where our food comes from. There are more aspects to agriculture, like medicines and everything we need to survive. Without agriculture, we would not have 4-H, FFA, or other agriculture-based youth programs. To me, agriculture means responsibility, risk, and making memories. Agriculture plays a big role in our lives, and not a whole lot of people realize that. If you are in 4-H or FFA, you have to take responsibility in what you are doing, because if you do not complete your project, you won't be able to compete at fair. If you take animals, you have to take care of them by feeding them, training them, and cleaning out their stalls. Farmers have to harvest and inspect crops by hand, irrigate farm soil, maintain dishes or pipes and pumps, operate and service machinery, and more. If farmers did not take care of their responsibilities, what would we have? With agriculture also comes risk. Last spring, it rained so much here in Ohio that some farmers did not plant their crops. Others did, though knowing that they may not make it through the season. Another risk is raising animals, because you do not know if an animal will make it through an illness, injury, and more. One last risk is production risk, which includes weather, insects, disease, technology, and any other events that will directly affect production quantity and quality. There are so many more risks to agriculture. With agriculture, finally, agriculture means making memories. Kids like myself are making memories every year during 4-H and FFA because we may become friends with the person we are competing with. They are also just making memories by showing their animals because if they win, they may get to compete at the state fair level. Farmers also make memories because if they have just planted or harvested their very first crops, they most likely feel proud of themselves. Another way farmers make memories is if one of their animals has just had a baby. Everybody has a different opinion on what agriculture means to them. Some people that don't work with agriculture think that's just where their food comes from, but that's only part of agriculture. Some people don't realize how agriculture affects our everyday lives. In 1787, Thomas Jefferson wrote a letter to George Washington saying, "Agriculture is our wisest pursuit because it will and I contribute most to real wealth, good morals, and happiness." Agriculture gives us all the essentials we need to survive. In your opinion, what is your definition of agriculture?
What does agriculture mean to me, you might ask? Well, agriculture is a lifestyle and a way of life. As a way of life, it provides us with clothing, shelter, and food. For clothing, we get it from wool and cotton. Cotton is a plant, and wool comes off of sheep. We all need clothing because we don't want to see people naked out there. Trust me, it's bad. For food, we use it from agriculture. From agriculture, we use it for many different types. We use the meat from animals, which eat grain. Grain is from seedlings and trees. Trees provide fruit for us, also. Shelter comes from wood, which comes from trees, which is a seedling like fruit. So, you might be asking, how is it a lifestyle? A lifestyle for me is because every free time I have, I come spend it with my kids. I personally live in a city school, but I love the country more. All my friends love video games, but I love my animals. Also, as a lifestyle, it gives me the opportunity to express my feelings through my work. My work is my 4-H projects. For 4-H, I take miscellaneous and I take livestock. My livestock is a pig. It is very, very personal to me because I love it very much. I will stick by that statement forever. We raise and show pigs as a living. For my living, I've been doing it since I was 3. We've been showing with our friends forever. Now I'm on my own, showing with my family and our close friends. So, that's what agriculture means to me. But, I want to show you what my 4-H projects look like. So, over here, this is my pig dog. He's very, very beautiful. And that's Regina. So, I just wanted to tell you guys, that's what agriculture means to me. And thank you for listening to it.
Agriculture is important to me because it provides the world with food. Imagine the world without food. Imagine lying there knowing that there is no food available to eat. Imagine going out in the morning to scavenge for food because you know it is not available anywhere. That's very hard to imagine, isn't it? Almost everything that we eat or consume is because of agriculture. Agriculture is also important to me because it employs 45% of the whole working population. 1 in 12 American jobs is dependent upon agriculture. Agriculture plays a critical role in our trade system. Trading creates new, higher-paying jobs to Americans as well as America's trading partners. It also gives consumers greater purchasing power as it allows them to buy a greater amount of goods at lower prices. Fun fact,
$1.1 trillion is spent on agriculture a year. One of the most common aspects of agriculture that many consumers forget about is fuel. Ethanol is a corn-delivered oil that is used in gasoline to help power cars, getting you where you need to be. Cornstarch is also used in the production of tires to help the rubber from sticking from the molds. Sports teams and organizations also rely heavily on agriculture. In basketball, hardwood is used for the floors for the courts, while footballs are made from leather from cows. Leather is also used in baseballs. Some sports teams rely on turf grass growers and landscape professionals to help make the field suitable for play. There's also agriculture and cleaning products. Laundry detergent and carpet shampoo have soy in them, while Windex and some hand soaps have corn. With these reasons why agriculture is important to me, I am looking forward as a 2020 Miss Agriculture Queen to teach and educate people like my little brother the importance of agriculture.
Agriculture means a wide spread of things. We all have our own meaning of it, but my meaning of agriculture is a few different things, but we will start with family. Family is one of my biggest ones, because you can't get much done unless you work as a team, and that's where family comes in. When my grandpa's grandparents moved here from Poland, they bought the farm and have been working on it since. My great-great-grandparents worked on it, my great-grandparents worked on it, and actually built the home we live in now by hand. My grandpa worked on it as a kid, my dad also worked on it as a kid, and finally, me and my siblings are working on it now. My grandpa and my dad have both taught me everything I know about farming and 4-H, from watching and feeding the animals to giving them shots. They have also shown me how to run a tractor and plant corn in the fields. The next topic I want to talk about is responsibility, because that is another big thing that agriculture has taught me. When living anywhere, you may have a garden, and if that garden does not get water it needs, it will not grow. Along with the animals, you probably have an animal of some sort at your home, and if you didn't feed them and water them at least twice a day, or if you forgot to clean their pen and groom them, they won't be healthy. When taking on animals of any sort or owning a garden, you take on a huge responsibility. Another thing that agriculture has taught me is how to save. As a kid, you go to the store and you have $5, and that's how much this truck or Barbie is that you want. So you get it, but then you get to the cash register and you want them too, but you don't have enough for it. But if you would have bought $3 Barbie or truck, you would have had enough money for both. It's just like animals. If you have a budget and you need to get multiple animals, you can't buy the cutest or the cool colored one. You have to get the multiple that are going to bring you the money back. So the next time you can go to the store and you can get both. There are times I have been up every hour of the night to take care for a baby animal or to do barn checks. Yes, it gets tiring, but the joy of having a healthy baby animal to play with outweighs the work you have to do to be able to make sure that that baby is healthy for the first few minutes. We like to feed fully from our farm, so that means growing the feed in the fields, harvesting it, and grinding it. It seems like a lot of work, and it is, but me and my siblings like to make sure to make it fun. We like to play games while we are working, and it helps get stuff done, but also for us to bond better. Sometimes we would spend hours a day doing field work, farm work, and love work. The most rewarding part, which outlays all of our times, is love work, as we like to call it in our house. Love work is the fun work of you feeding and playing and caring for that animal. The outcome of the love work is that the animal now trusts you, and if you give it a good life, that animal will love you as much as you love it. Holding and playing with babies is definitely the best part about farming, and it makes all the work worth it. Agriculture means work, but it also means fun in the barn, games in the fields, growing food for animals and people. Without agriculture, the world just wouldn't go around like it does.
What is the definition of agriculture? Merriam-Webster defines agriculture as the science, art, or the practice of cultivating the soil, producing crops, and raising livestock in varying degrees, the preparation and marketing of the resulting products. Agriculture involves us as humans to prepare the soil for raising crops or livestock. But to me, agriculture is so much more than the dictionary definition. Agriculture is a lifestyle that allows our families to work side by side on a daily basis, doing all the things that allow the crops to grow and the livestock to thrive. Agriculture is about meeting other farm families, becoming friends, and those friends eventually becoming like family. Agriculture means so much more to me because I am raised on a farm like my parents and grandparents were. It means one day I will have the chance to raise my kids that way. Agriculture is the main source of food for the people living in any country, not just here in the United States. Imagine how it would be if we didn't have farmers producing these products to feed everyone. Our farm families are working together to fill a need for every person through the products they raise. Whether it be raising beef cattle for meat, dairy cattle for milk, wheat, soybeans, or corn, to just name a few. Our farmers work really hard every day in order to make sure that these products can reach the source and be purchased by consumers to feed their own families. George Washington said, "Agriculture is the most healthful, most useful, and most noble employment of man." Many of these things are what make this a way of living to farm families like mine rather than just a way of doing business. I feel that agriculture is truly the backbone of the United States of America and want to continue doing my part to support the way of living by doing whatever I can to promote agriculture in the best way I can. Agriculture is a way of living for my family, and I want to continue that way for many years and see my own children share this in the future. That's what agriculture means to me.
Agriculture can mean many different things to everyone, but to me, it means 4-H in Clark County. I've been in 4-H since I was in kindergarten, where I started off as a clover bud, and I have continued my journey as a 4-H member for the past 6 years. 4-H takes a huge part in my county, as I am from Clark County, which is the birthplace of 4-H. A.B. Graham started a youth program in Clark County, Ohio in 1902, which was considered the birth of 4-H in the United States. The first club was called the Tomato Club or the Corn Growing Club. There is a 4-H program in 40 different countries around the world involving 6.5 million youth a year. When I hear the word 4-H, it makes me think of a heartwarming and rewarding feeling. You get to pick which animal you want to take to the fair, and then you get to take that animal home and you get to love it and put effort and time into it. And then after your months of hard work, you get to take it to the fair and show it off to everyone. And then you get to take it to your show and you get the nervous, exciting feeling before the show and before they announce the award winners. Most people just like to go to the fair because they like the food or the rides, which are both really good. But I also enjoy the other shows and the royalty being crowned and hearing their opinions and what they've done in 4-H. Agriculture is also a big part in Clark County, where we grow corn, wheat, and soybeans mostly. We just happen to have the richest soil and water supply in the world, and only 4 other places around the world have soil as rich as ours, and that's what agriculture means to me.
Agriculture to me means to not only be involved in 4-H and FFA, but to be involved in our communities. Every person in our community makes up agriculture. Many people think that only agriculture can come from the pastures with livestock and the fields with combines and tractors, but we all know that's false. Everything you touch, eat, and put on your bodies are made from agriculture. When I was little, I thought to myself and said, wow, look at all the fascinating combines and tractors and all the cute little animals. And I wondered if I'd ever be a part of such an amazing industry. At the age of 9, I started showing market animals at my fair and bringing them home in the fall to butcher. See, agriculture to me means the growing, marketing, and producing the product of our toil. To be in agriculture, you just don't have to be out in the fields with the tractors and combines or in the pastures with livestock. You can simply come from your backyard with greenhouses, gardens, caring for plants, and much more. Agriculture is such a wide variety, and many people think they aren't involved in agriculture like I did when I was younger. Since agriculture is such a broad topic, many people don't know the true definition of what agriculture is. Agriculture is one of the most important economic activities that feeds America. Where I come from, agriculture is such a big part of my life. In my family, we own a milk hauling business that travels through Ohio and Kentucky. Through that business, my family has taught me that agriculture can be tough, but never let the tough times define you. With being in agriculture, the tough times often come. We cannot let the tough times define us, but we can only learn the new experiences. The agriculture industry is such a wide variety, but we also have new adventures, experiences, and this is our next footstep into the future.
When people say, "Were you raised in a barn?" it's usually after something negative has happened. However, for me, that couldn't be further from the truth. You see, agriculture means so many different things to me. It's about our environment, helping others, teaching and learning, and it's also just plain fun. Caring about the land and natural resources has always been a priority for those involved in agriculture. Understanding the relationship between using our environment and taking care of it has always been important. I remember my mom telling me to watch out for the endangered Blandings turtle that make their home on the farm where they lay their eggs. I remember being taught to leave fence rows with grasses and trees for the wildlife and to help catch nutrients before they end up in the ditch. For me, being engaged in agriculture means you are a good steward for the environment. Agriculture is about giving and helping others. A great example of this is the Northwest Ohio Nebraska Farmers Relief Effort, which started as a single farmer wanting to take a load of hay out to the Nebraska farms that flooded last year. In 1 week, this idea turned into a 30-truck convoy loaded with trailers of hay and supplies that traveled 874 miles to help the Nebraska farmers in need. The resourcefulness of agriculture is truly amazing. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture either. It can be as simple as donating a pig to the local food pantry, which is what I do every year. People in agriculture are creative in finding ways to help others, and that is what agriculture means to me. I have learned so much about science growing up around agriculture. Nutrition, reproduction, medicine, mechanical, construction are all skills that I learned by growing up on a farm. I have also learned to enjoy the successes to the fullest because they make the hard times bearable. Last year, winning the Grand Champion Market Hog and Breeding Gilt each happened in a single moment that many people watched. But what they didn't see were the endless hours of balancing farrowing pigs, cleaning pens, walking pigs, homework, junior fair board, 4-H, FFA, and cleaning my room. What they didn't see were the frozen water pipes, the 2 a.m. farrowing yet still going to school, and the sow dying and only saving 3 piglets. I walked through these hard times with my family and learned how to deal with all life has to offer, both the highs and the lows. I learned that dedication and determination are keys to success. This is what agriculture means to me. Agriculture also means fun to me. Having campfires with s'mores and stargazing just because. Playing loud country music outside while cleaning the pens. Playing in the rain and not being bothered by it at all. Having cousins that you see as brothers. Having an aunt and uncle that are cemented into your life. Having Grandma's Cookie Tuesday to picking up trash along the rural roads with Papa. Making memories that you will always have. This is what agriculture means to me. To me, agriculture means taking care of my environment. It means learning and passing those skills on to the next generation, as well as the general public. It means family to me. Growing up in agriculture has been a way of life for me. I cannot imagine growing up any other way. So I proudly say, yes, I was raised in a barn.
When you ask someone what agriculture means to them, they will most likely refer to the definition: the science and art of cultivating plants and livestock. And while that's completely true, it doesn't really get to the root of what all agriculture truly entails. When I'm asked what agriculture means to me, I have my answer instantly: knowledge, support, and connectedness. Knowledge is one of the 5 elements of culture. The knowledge that we learn from our communities helps us improve and progress as people. In the agricultural community, there is never a moment in which knowledge isn't being shared. From ways to plant crops, to farming technology, all the way to finding new scientific findings in food. The communication between agricultural careers is a never-ending cycle of knowledge that helps benefit not only the agricultural community, but society as a whole. The Ultimate Medical Academy stated that having a support system has many positive benefits, such as better coping skills, overall better well-being, and a healthier life. I know for a fact from my own personal experience that agriculture has one of the most supportive communities. 3 years ago, my grandfather fell into a corn bin and was knocking on death's door. Within moments of him falling in the bin, the first responders, who are mainly farmers in our county, were at his side, pulling him away from drowning and ensuring that I still have my grandfather. Within the next few weeks, my family received an outpouring of love, prayers, and support from our agricultural community. But not only does the agriculture community support itself, but it also supports the whole world. Did you know that a single farmer will feed 155 people a year? That's a lot when you think about it. Connectedness refers to a sense of belonging to a group. In the agricultural world, there are so many different groups a person can belong to: livestock raisers, food growers, animal scientists, and the list can go on and on. But when it comes down to it, agriculture has a community with so many variations of interests. I feel a sense of connectedness the most through 4-H. At the Crawford County Fair, many people will agree that the sheep barn is the most competitive there. And it makes sense with the fact that all of our parents grew up competing with each other. It instilled the idea that Monday, show day, is no time to mess around. But after battling it out in the ring the night before, on Tuesday, we're all back in the barn joking around and laughing and inviting each other over to the camper for dinner. Our agricultural bond has created a way for us to connect, and we will have these friendships for most of our lives. Agriculture is so much more than plants and livestock. It's community, friendship, competition. But when you ask me what agriculture truly is, it's knowledge, support, and connectedness. Thank you.
Agriculture is defined by the Webster Dictionary as, quote, the science, art, or practice of cultivating the soil, producing crops, and raising livestock, and in varying degrees, the preparation and marketing of the resulting products, end quote. Now that is a literal definition, but to me agriculture is everything, not in the typical cliche way, but in the literal way. The agricultural industry includes my family, my friends, my animals that are my best friends, and my passion. In this industry, it is very common for your friends to become your family. Everyone in this industry is very close and are always trying to help each other, which is another thing I love about this industry. No one is on their own. This industry is a second home to me that does not have a set destination. No matter where we go in this country, I always feel at home and always feel like I have a huge support system. In the livestock part of the industry, this rings even more true. No matter what happens in that ring, you will always have people or family that will be there whether good or bad. But the thing that means the most to me in this industry is that no matter where you live or what species you show, you can always have people to talk to. I love going to shows and finding new people to connect with. Then you walk away from the show knowing that you made another lifelong friendship. Another thing that goes along with friendship is that we all try and help each other improve ourselves as people or showmen. We also help each other when we get stuck in a jam. These friends that a lot of people call family are also a huge part of shaping each other into the people we have grown up to be. The goal across the whole industry is to be the best versions of ourselves and to gain all of the knowledge that we can attain and use it to better ourselves. Agriculture is not just an industry, it is a lifestyle. A lot of people out there in the world look at us and think we are crazy for all the work we do with our animals or all the hours that we spend out in the field. But the truth is that that's just how we chose to live our lives, and we are truly devoted to it. With that, I reiterate that agriculture means everything to me, and every time I put on that blue and gold FFA jacket, show shirt, or even walk out to the barn, I truly feel at home.
George Washington once said, "Agriculture is the most healthful, most useful, and most noble employment of man. Agriculture is a way of life for many in Ohio, across the nation, and throughout the world." I am Sarah Hayes, the 2020 Fairfield County, Ohio Miss Agriculture USA, and I am proud to call agriculture a way of life for myself. In my life, I have had many experiences and people who have encouraged me to pursue agriculture, and in turn, agriculture has become my passion. In Fairfield County, many youth live on an active family farm. I, however, have never lived on a farm, but I see the important role that agriculture plays in everyday life. I am extremely grateful to have people in my life that instill such values and knowledge that comes from the hard work and responsibility of being a producer. I love that my local agricultural community in Fairfield County has taken time to educate me and to include me in the ever most important industry. Although I did not have the opportunity to grow up on a traditional farm, I have seen the ways that agriculture is inclusive of all and how we all play a role in agriculture as producers and consumers alike. As I explored my interests in agriculture, particularly sheep, I have evolved into a passionate agriculture advocate and leader in Fairfield County. Agriculture to me means drive. One person responsible for showing me drive in agriculture is my sheep breeder, Matt Shannon. I met Matt when I was down on my luck and in a hard place in life. I had a few years of frustration in raising and exhibiting sheep for the Fairfield County Fair. The showing season prior to meeting Matt, my market lamb tragically passed away. This was a pivotal time for me. The loss of my lamb filled me with doubt and confusion. I often wanted to quit and to let this loss have the best of me, but then I was introduced to Matt. While I was mourning the tragic event I was going through, such a turbulent time, and questioning my path and future as an older youth, Matt was someone that pushed me to gain great knowledge about the sheep industry. He has taught me proper techniques in the ring, and most importantly, he has pushed me to do my best. This process of growth has not always been easy, but Matt has supported me and never let me quit when the going got hard. He constantly pushed me to continue pursuing my journey of being a showman and to be the best that I could be. Matt was my voice of reason in the sheep industry and helped me to find my own voice and confidence. Matt has always believed in me and my sense of humble ambition. I can say with 100% honesty that if it weren't for Matt's guidance and reassurance during that time, I would not be standing here before you today. I would have given up on agriculture before I discovered that agriculture is my true passion in life. Matt has blessed me with many sheep over the past couple years, and we are working to create a business together one day. Matt has been a great role model of kindness and encouragement in my industry. He showed me how much I love agriculture. Agriculture to me means an inclusive community. Matt has also shown me that agriculture is inclusive to all. He took the time to introduce me to important players in the sheep industry, in the state, other exhibitors, and farmers. Matt often refers to this community as family, because some truly are his family, and others have become his chosen family. Through meeting and getting to trade information with more people in my industry, I have learned the importance of community. As I mentioned before, I am not I was not born into the agriculture community like many others, so I am endlessly grateful to Matt for introducing me to such a passionate community with the same goals and aspirations as me. He has inspired me to put my entire heart and soul into the lamb and wool community. Agriculture to me means family and memories. My Uncle Lee and Uncle Lowell own a farm where I keep my sheep. This is the closest that I
Being a part of agriculture means you're strong-willed. Whether that means getting up early to feed the animals even though you were up late working on the farm, or if it means continuing to make masks even when your hands are so tired they're shaking. It means pushing through sleep deprivation and pain to provide others with things they need. Agriculture means being responsible for not only your land and animals, but for those that need the product from them. People want things to be handed to them. Agriculture is having the patience to create things yourself, waiting for months for the corn to grow, and then doing the labor it takes to harvest it, or taking care of the chickens and getting up every morning to collect the eggs. But that's not all. I am one of those people who doesn't live on a farm. I live in a 1,000 square foot home with a small backyard. When it comes to animals, ours don't live in a barn. They live in a garage. Every winter, my family and I have to get up earlier than normal in order to knock out all of the ice from the rabbits' water. I don't have a large farm. Our animals aren't big either. I have rabbits instead of cows. I have chickens instead of horses. Agriculture doesn't mean living on a farm. It means learning about what it takes for those that do. It means supporting local businesses so that they can stay.
The dictionary defines agriculture as the cultivation of soil and the rearing of animals for wool, meat, and other products. In technical terms, I agree. However, agriculture to me is so much more. Agriculture is a way of life. Agriculture isn't something for everyone. It's for the very few who will put everything on the line to save an animal or to get a harvest in. Oftentimes, I find myself staying up past 2 o'clock in the morning with a sickly calf, praying that it'll survive the night. But sometimes it just doesn't work, and you have to dry your eyes and hope for the best next year. To me, agriculture is optimism. When a farmer plants a crop or breeds animals or anything in agriculture, you have to be an optimist. You have to be an optimist because you're putting everything on the line and hoping all goes well. You won't know till it happens. It's something that only time will tell. To me, agriculture is a way of life. In 2014, when my sister joined FFA her freshman year of high school, we got our first cattle. We never had any other livestock, but since we've had cattle, goats, hogs, and a horse, and chickens, and rabbits, anything we've had, you can name it. That started a passion and fire within me. So agriculture to me is also passion. Agriculture to me is a lifestyle. Agriculture is truly the backbone of the world. Without agriculture, we would not be able to survive or function as a society. Agriculture is dedication. Agriculture is hard work. There are endless and limitless definitions of agriculture to me. Those are just a few. Agriculture is persistence. Agriculture is something you have to work for every day. And every year and every day you learn something new to help better the agriculture community. Agriculture is something that looks down on a lot. However, it is truly the backbone and reason for survival in today's society. Agriculture takes blood, sweat, and tears. Most importantly, it takes optimism. We would not be anything without optimism in the agriculture industry. Agriculture is everything.
Thomas Jefferson once said, "Agriculture is our wisest pursuit, because it will in the end contribute most to real wealth, good morals, and happiness." For me, this quote is a good representation of how I feel about agriculture. Hello, my name is Cheyenne Watson, and when I am finished in a few minutes, you will understand exactly what agriculture means to me. Now for me, agriculture means endless opportunities presenting themselves to everyone, and how these opportunities have made myself and many others into who we are today. Let me break this down for you a little so you understand what I mean. Endless opportunities arise through agriculture. And as someone who has never been afraid to try something new, this has fostered a larger love for the agricultural industry in me as years have passed. 4-H, FFA, rodeo, and the very competition for which I am giving this speech are just a few of many of the opportunities I have been afforded through agriculture. Now, would I and many others be the same people that we are today without these agricultural opportunities? I cannot say for sure if we would or would not be, but what I can say is that we are all much more than what we would have been without these opportunities. Agricultural opportunities give everyone a chance to learn and develop skills and to become the person who they truly want to be. Things like hard work, morality, responsibility, and confidence are just a few of the many skills that you can obtain through agricultural industries that are relevant to your everyday life. And agricultural opportunities are open to anyone. It doesn't discriminate, and it accepts everyone the same. It doesn't matter if you were in the top 10% or bottom 10% or wealth, if you are a good guy or a bad guy, or where you've been in your past or where you are in your future. Agriculture is there to give everyone the same exact chance to learn and to grow, and to develop into that person who they really want to be. And these opportunities also give you the chance to become a good role model and to make a positive impact and difference in your community and your world. You can be someone that the younger and older generations look up to, a prominent figure in the community who helps to teach everyone through community involvement and education and make the community a thriving, beautiful place. You can also have a positive impact on your world, even if that's as small as teaching some people how to plant a garden, or as large as making a huge farmer's market full of free produce for people who might not have the money to buy fresh produce in other times. And agriculture is one of those industries where anyone has their place. Even if your opportunity is as small as showing off some vegetables at the county fair, or as large as holding a position in your state or national FFA office. Everyone has opportunities, small or large, to become the person who they want to be and to develop many skills through agriculture. Agriculture is a prominent part of myself and many others' lives, and there's a reason we all love and appreciate it as much as we do. The opportunities it affords us are the reasons we are who we are today, and the reasons that we are able to make such a positive impact on the world. Through college work and my hectic life, agriculture has always been there to toss me another opportunity and chance to learn and to grow and to become a better person, the same way it is for every other person that inhabits the planet that we call home. The bottom line is, agriculture is an industry where the opportunities are limitless and where everyone can have the same chances to become who they truly want to be. This is the reason that it stays a prominent part of all of our lives and why we love and appreciate it as much as we do. And this is what agriculture means to me. Thank you.
Hey Siri, what is the definition of agriculture?
Agriculture means the science or practice of farming, including cultivation of the soil for the growing of crops and the rearing of animals to provide food, wool, and other products.
This definition of agriculture could be simplified to state, agriculture is the practice of growing crops or raising animals. Hello, I am contestant 29, and I am here to tell you what agriculture means to me. Although agriculture can be simplified to become this being that can be defined in a sentence, I believe there is so much more to agriculture than what can be defined. I believe that agriculture is more than a physical thing. It is a lifestyle, something that brings us to our roots, something that makes us a community. Agriculture is what makes us a family, and my agricultural family started to grow when I was extremely young. Agriculture has been a part of my life since I was a baby. My agricultural adventure started with one rabbit. This began to grow, and I have shown all types of animals, from small animals to horses and llamas. I grew up raising animals, but when I became a 4-H club officer and a 4-H camp counselor for my county and state, I began to also help raise the future of agriculture. Over the years of being a member of agriculture and meeting new members of my family, I have learned that I am just one of the many people who have been affected by the agricultural lifestyle. According to the Ohio 4-H website, last year, 4-H had more than 13,000 youth join for the first time. Over 2,500,000 projects were completed, and enrollment was rising in projects that build skills needed for college and careers. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, from 2017 to 2018, Ohio grew in their numbers of farms with a difference of 300 farms. With the increasing numbers of involvement of agriculture, I believe that our family will grow stronger than ever. I know that everyone involved in agriculture today is a part of a community. With support from youth organizations, our numbers will keep growing. I would like to leave you with my definition of agriculture and what it means to me. Agriculture isn't just about growing crops and raising livestock. It's about growing friendships and raising a community.
Though I was born in an agriculturally active family, I accredit the spark that ignited my passion to when my mother approached the stocker at Rural King, asking if I could show his pony. From there, I went on to be active in the 4-H and equine communities for the next 7 years and counting. I credit my development into a strong advocate to the opportunities the Rural King employee's pony led me to. Those opportunities have shaped my definition of what agriculture personally means to me. Agriculture would be nothing without love. Love of the land, love for the trade, and love for what you do fuels this industry. Not many people would willingly choose to get up at dawn to tend to cattle or plant fields late into the night. They do it because they love it. Walk through the barns during fair time and you can see the love for the industry in carefully decorated stalls and handmade signs. You can see youth of all walks radiating with pride and love for the animals they have worked so hard to raise. Agriculture, to me, is faith-driven. Faith that next year will be better after a rough year. Faith that the work you have put in an animal or a crop will pay off with personal growth or finances. Faith that somehow, some way, you'll be able to make ends meet year after year. Faith that the generations to come will admire your path and pick up your work when you leave this world to feed their generations. My faith is what gives me the courage to show up at state and regional competitions. I won my current pony in a 4-H essay contest as an unhandled 2-year-old stallion, and we use hand-me-down and second-hand equipment. I have faith in the work that I have put in him, that we can compete against specially bred and raised ponies and globally recognized exhibitors. And even with all the work we put in, sometimes we fall. Agriculture is humble. You must be humble enough to swallow your pride and hurt feelings and congratulate others on a good show or season, even though you wish it was you that succeeded. We must be humble enough to know when to accept help from others when we are struggling, or even when someone just wants to lend a hand out of kindness. We must be humble enough to accept both defeat and victory with a smile and a firm handshake. Lastly, and most important to me, Agriculture is to honor and uphold the legacy left by my grandfather. A true farmer and homesteader, my Papa Orville put his heart and soul into the land he tilled. He worked doing what he loved up until his final weeks, when he returned to the soil he so lovingly cultivated. I owe it to him to contribute to this beautiful art with the same fire that fueled his life and his legacy.
The Oxford Dictionary describes agriculture as the science or study of farming. So what do you picture when you think of agriculture? I don't imagine a huge field with dozens of cows with a white picket fence. I reminisce my father in the hayfield teaching me how to drive the tractor or how to split wood in half with pure muscle. Agriculture is something that has always been a part of my life, from the countless tractor rides with my father to the sewing and flower planting lessons with my grandmother. My dad is someone that has always been the biggest influence in life. I remember the countless mornings being woke up by my dad ready to take me out for that early morning hunt, walking out ever so slowly to the frosty blind, making sure not to step on a stick. I remember the first time I had buck fever so bad that when I had taken my shot, I ended up giving myself a black eye with a scope. But I have been so thankful enough to get many more since then for my family and I. At my granny's house, we would ride in a wagon hooked to the lawnmower out to the pear trees. We then proceeded to climb up into the tree as far as we could to shake our groove thing, as my gran would say. She would then show us how to can the pears so we could savor them throughout the years. As I got older, I became more interested in agriculture. I was really interested in 4-H and FFA, but I was only able to do 4-H for 5 years. But I knew how awesome FFA was, and I really wanted to put my everything into it. I was grateful enough to be the Meigs County FFA reporter for my freshman and sophomore year, and the historian for my junior and senior year. I was able to take pictures and record the amazing memories we created in agriculture everywhere that we went. I also had a super fun time getting to play in the dirt when I competed in the soil judging contest, where I took 4th in the state and was the best girl for our county. I was also super happy to get the opportunity to show hogs through FFA for 4 years, which encouraged me to pursue my biology degree at Ohio State Agricultural Technical Institute. These reasons are why I don't picture a field of cows. I picture a family that has taught me that agriculture is such an important thing in our life, and shaped me into the person that I am today. Agriculture to me means countless memories that I'll be able to cherish and create with my kids one day, and I cannot wait.
Hello, I am Ambrosia Haven, the 2020 Pickaway County Miss Agriculture. I am an agriculture queen who does not live on a farm, but loves agriculture anyway. I am not, nor have I ever been, a farmer. I have grown up in cities and suburbs, but I'm still passionate about agriculture. In fact, I'm extremely passionate about introducing urban children to the source of their food and to the important ways agriculture impacts their everyday lives. While cityscapes don't normally remind people of farming, I believe we can change that. Agriculture is and does many things, but to me, it means growth. Agriculture has touched every step of human development. Civilization itself first began in fertile valleys that were capable of supporting agrarian societies. As humans became more able to produce an abundance of food, populations grew and cultures were enriched. Scientific advancements began as ways to improve agricultural productivity. Without agriculture, society as we know it could not exist, and it would not have grown to what it is today or what it will be tomorrow. I try to contribute to agriculture by educating others about what agriculture does for them and how they can take part in it. Personally, I do my best to grow a healthy backyard vegetable garden to help feed my family. While I may not know how to drive a tractor, I do know how to spend weeks watering seedlings as they grow on my windowsill before I transplant them outside. I may not plant acres of corn, but my little agricultural effort of growing flowers that attract pollinators helps #save the bees, which is an important sustainability effort that we should all work towards. It's these lessons I try to impart on others. Everyone benefits from agriculture, and everyone, no matter where they live,
can take part in it. I'm currently pursuing degrees in both microbiology and pathology because improving agriculture requires research, and I hope to one day help push the sustainability and productivity of agriculture forward. I suppose some of the real growth I want to feed is in growing the number of people that understand what agriculture entails and the impact it has on their everyday lives. I guess you could say my favorite crop to grow is actually new advocates.
While I wasn't raised on a farm, and no one in my immediate family worked in agriculture, I was brought up with a deep appreciation for all of the hard work and passion behind the industry. Agriculture was a staple in my home education, and when I joined 4-H, it opened my eyes to all of the wonderful possibilities in ag. The textbook definition of agriculture is the science and art of cultivating plants and livestock. To me, agriculture is so much more than an industry that just feeds and clothes the world. It is because of agriculture we have civilization to begin with. The theme for this competition is necessity is the mother of invention, and I cannot think of a more suitable subject. Humankind had a need for a new, more accommodating way of life, and from that was born agriculture. I view agriculture as the mother of society, medicine, innovation, technology, and tools. Agriculture is the original science, and I think it is very important for it to be represented as such. Modern agriculture is an industry built from passion, grit, generational knowledge, and invention. At the root of agriculture is the word culture. Ag is truly a culture in itself, one built on family, innovation, and hard work. My background in agriculture has provided me with many invaluable skills, including knowing how to provide for myself, maintaining determination, and representing my community with pride, respecting the plants and animals for all they provide us. But agriculture is also widely misunderstood. There are many stereotypes about what it looks like to be in agriculture. Misconceptions include that agriculture is a man's world, that it is only an industry for unskilled and uneducated workers, that it is only a familially inherited industry. And that is why I feel beyond blessed to walk in this journey with my sister queens to change these misunderstandings one day at a time. If there is one thing I do know about ag after my years in the community, it is that we are all brought together by one common thing, and that is the love, passion, and grit we have for the community, which ties us together as one big family.
Agriculture, a noun, is the science or practice of farming, including cultivation of the soil for the growing of crops and the raising of animals to provide food, wool, and other products. Experiencing childhood in a farming community was anything but difficult to be separated from the neighboring 4-H and our school's FFA. Yet I realized that I needed to be part of something greater. I attend the agriculture branch of The Ohio State University, and meeting various prompters for the horticulture division has transformed me to improve my thinking of agriculture. In spite of the way that I encountered youth with a farm, there was a feeling of the agriculture industry that I was missing. It was brought to my attention in all of my agriculture classes I took in high school and now in college that have helped me increase a more balanced point of view of the industry. It was of long periods of wearing a blue corduroy coat and finding out about animals and going to different conferences. The FFA Creed is a 5-paragraph bit composed of hardship of agriculture and how far we have truly come with agriculture. The last bit of the FFA Creed states, I believe that American agriculture can and will hold true to the best traditions of our natural life, and that I exert an influence in my home and community which will stand solid for my part in this aspiring task. I took in the FFA Creed more than 2 years prior, and this line sticks with me since I comprehend the significance of my part right now. Horticulture has been a noteworthy piece of my life as I experienced childhood with a blended homestead activity. My encounters on the farm is very important on my grounds that I had the chance to find what horticulture exactly means firsthand. I had the chance to find out what horticulture is from the most notable individuals through my life, my family. I accept my roots and my significance of job and my enthusiasm to turn out the increasing associated with agriculture business. Agriculture and horticulture go hand to hand. Horticulture is so much more than plants. It is growing food to be consumed around the world to better humans' life and to keep up with the increasing population that needs to be fed on the daily. Being a supporter of farmers have pushed me to develop as a woman in the field and to develop in the route by being progressively educated on the numerous points of agriculture. I need to advocate for everyone and everything. Having the opportunity to converse with everyone about any topic in horticulture field and the agriculture field is an objective of mine because agriculture means the world to me. I plan to get the message out pretty much of all fields of farming and to give accommodations to agriculture. Agriculture means waking up early and going out to the barn to tend to animals and helping in the cold weather to help animals give birth. This is why I, Miranda Berger, am the Miss Agriculture USA Queen for Putnam County, Ohio. Thank you.
What does agriculture mean to me? Does it mean livestock production? Does it mean crop production? Please, take a moment to consider, what does agriculture mean to you? Now, does it mean the same thing to your neighbor, to your teacher, to your family, your friends, or even your child? What agriculture means to you doesn't mean that it means the same thing to everyone around you. To me, agriculture means an opportunity to educate, an opportunity to improve, an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to create, and an opportunity to advance. Agriculture is way more than just an opportunity to educate a child or a society on where their food or clothes comes from. Agriculture is more than just improving the lives in a society that is ungrateful for what you do for them or unwilling to admit that without you, they wouldn't have very much. It's more than just learning how to grow food or raise animals. It's more than creating a life that just revolves around your farm. And it's more than advancing technology to create a self-driving tractor. Agriculture is so much more than just food. It's lumber and sawmills. It's that company that installs wells so your farm has water. It's your neighbors, your kids, your grandparents, your parents, your cousins, your aunts, or your uncles. Agriculture is you. Agriculture is me. Agriculture is family. And no, I'm not just talking about those that you're related to by blood or by marriage. I'm talking about that old farmer down the road who might have lent you equipment when yours wasn't working. I'm talking about that farmer who helped you fix your fence when the storm broke it. So yeah, to me, agriculture means having the opportunity to show people that agriculture is so much more than just one set definition. But to me, yeah, agriculture is more than that. To me, becoming a part of agriculture means becoming a part of a family.
What agriculture means to me is such a small topic that comes with such a big answer for me for so many reasons. From something as small as growing up in a very small rural town where every other house there's 3 cornfields and 2 soybean fields, and that's just how it is, to
growing up with such a large agricultural-based family. Growing up, we mainly focused on equine, whether it was riding, racing, whatever. So I learned, mucking stalls and feeding and turning out, and then learning how horses are built and how they move and what their muscles do when, we ask them to do something and how they respond, and, dealing with, cuts or colic or anything, and learning what medicine to use when, which now that I look back at it was such a blessing in disguise, because the older I got, the more I wanted to explore the world of agriculture, because there's so many different areas. There's farmers, and there's different type. There's, the crops, which are corn, soybean, wheat, rye, when you gotta plant them, what machinery you have to use, and all of that. There's the dairy operations, there's the beef operations, there's different equine, and there's so many more. There's the goat, the sheep, the chickens, the ducks, the turkey, all of that. So the older I got, the more I wanted to explore and see what I thought I would enjoy the most. So from equine, as I still worked with him, I moved into crops with my uncle. I learned what crops to plant when, what's the best soil, what machinery you use for what, and all that. And I actually ended up planting and completely working my own hay field, which was amazing for my horses because hay is really expensive. And from there on, that summer I worked my own hay field. I then moved on to cattle. I started out with the beef, which was awesome because I got to play with so many babies. That was my aunt's operation. I then moved to my other aunt's dairy operation, which I absolutely fell in love with. She has Holsteins, red and white Holsteins, and I absolutely fell in love. It is very tough work, which I learned very, very quickly, because these cows need milk. There's no sitting around and waiting. They need milk. So I really enjoyed being able to take what I learned from horses, because they're not completely the same, but you can kind of compare one to the other, which helped me so much learn the two different animals. And just from being able to have all this luck, to be able to have so many people in my family who I can call up and be like, hey, can I come and work on your farm over the summer to get the hang of things or see if I like it? I feel very blessed to be able to have these, and some people might not. I still continue to learn every single day more and more about agriculture. I now have my own chickens that I'm raising that I have never had before. So I'm thankful for my family for being able to help me throughout all of it, because it's definitely a change from horses to hopefully one day running my own dairy operation, which is my goal. So the answer is everything. When you ask me what agriculture means to me, I will tell you everything, because that is my way of living, it's how I grew up, and that's my life. Now it's your turn. What does agriculture mean to you?
What does agriculture mean to me? Well, it has a lot of meaning, but for me, agriculture means youth. If you think about it, youth have a lot to do with the agriculture industries in today's world. In some cases, we have to pass on our information to the next generation. Also, if we didn't have youth, who would our next generation farmers be? Who would fix our tractors? Who would run John Deere International? With having groups like Grange, FFA, and 4-H, youth have that opportunity to learn more about the agriculture industries in today's world, and also share it with other youth and get more involved. Like, for example, my sister Jess was able to promote poultry to youth in any way she can, and might I say she did a very good job at it. Ever since she was in 4-H, the poultry barn has tripled over the past 5 years. Now I have been taking over that responsibility, gaining more youth to join. And even if they don't want to show an animal, I've always gotten more members for Junior Fair Board, and we have doubled over the years. Even with not wanting to show, they have always learned something new about agriculture over the years. I hope that youth today will keep sharing this wonderful life of agriculture to more and more people. Then they can pass down their information to the next generation.
My love for agriculture started at a very young age, tending to bottle piglets, leading dairy heifers, helping my siblings get ready for the county fair. Since then, my passion runs deeper than your cover crop roots. First, what is agriculture? The book definition of agriculture is the science or practice of farming, including the cultivation of the soil for the growing of crops and the rearing of animals to provide food, wool, and other products. When I was little, agriculture to me was animals, but just the ones we had in our barn. I was so oblivious to what it really all encased. As I got older, corn, soybeans, wheat, they all joined forces with just the animals. Later on, so did the dairy farm right down the road. Next came your trucks, your tractors, your sprayers, ammonia, and more. I can remember thinking how big agriculture really was around my little town and if there was more of it. In high school, I had joined agricultural classes and soon became a part of the FFA chapter. Agriculture became more than just the cows, plows, and your sows, but also became your businesses, consumers, meat packers, beekeepers, vegetable growers, and even truckers. It was bigger than I had imagined, and the possibility of ending up in an agricultural job was almost guaranteed. My love for the agricultural industry grew and grew and grew until I thought it couldn't grow anymore. But then it did even more once I started my collegiate career. I started taking animal science classes, learning so much from animal nutrition, animal health, careers in agriculture, and even meat science. Meat science, since then, has become a lot of who I am as a person. I have traveled near and far to several packing plants around the country, have had the opportunity to talk to people like you all about the meat science industry and why we do things the way that we do. What agriculture means to me then does not compare how I feel about the industry now. My heart is so deeply rooted in agriculture that I want to pursue a master's degree in meat science with a focus on extension and outreach. My goal is to spread my love and passion of agriculture to the next generation and hopefully light a spark in that young girl or boy, because the industry does not show favoritism, racism, sexism, but rather it shows acceptance of all kinds. It doesn't matter if you come from a city background or have no experience at all in farming. Who knew that that shy little girl feeding a bottle piglet would one day learn to love agriculture so much that she wants to give back to the industry that gave her a fond, passionate, and driven love. Isn't it amazing what the smaller things in life can do, such as ag in the classroom or a petting zoo, maybe even getting to raise livestock or grow crops at a young age? I put a lot of faith in that agriculture raised me, that my blood is really dirt, and I hope to spread seeds and help those around me blossom. And that is what agriculture means to me.
Agriculture, to me, means passion. Growing up, I was never involved in agriculture. It wasn't until my freshman year of high school that my guidance counselor put me in an introduction to agriculture class to fill my schedule. Little did I know, this would be the start of something great. I instantly fell in love with agriculture and took as many opportunities as I could to learn more. I learned how my food was produced, and I love passing that knowledge on to others. I took this fire inside of me and turned it into passion, a passion for agriculture. Agriculture to me means happiness. My fondest memories come from agriculture. My favorite week of the year is Fair Week, where I was able to showcase all of my hard work and time that I spent raising my animals. I love talking with younger fair exhibitors and sharing my knowledge with fairgoers. Chasing baby animals around their pen brings so much happiness and laughter. I've seen the happiness in younger 4-H members' eyes as I'm teaching them how to hold their animal for the first time. Agriculture, to me, means respect. One of my favorite quotes is from Temple Grandin. It says, I think using animals for food is an ethical thing to do, but we've got to do it right. We've got to give those animals a decent life, and we've got to give them a painless death. We owe the animals respect. Helping animals into the world, being there for them when they need a little extra help, raising them right, and knowing when their journey is done is what we owe the animals that give us so much. I've learned to love and respect the animals that I have raised, and I'm grateful to be involved in the industry that's feeding the world. Agriculture, to me, is a lifestyle. I am currently living in the beautiful city of Columbus, Ohio. I'll admit, I was so nervous because I thought agriculture was going to be taken out of my everyday life. But I was given an even greater opportunity. I was given the opportunity to advocate for agriculture. I know in my future, agriculture will be my lifestyle. I am using my passion, happiness, and respect to teach others so agriculture can become part of their lifestyle too. My name is Sarah Galovich, and I am your Belmont County 2020 Miss Agriculture USA.
What does agriculture mean to me? Agriculture isn't just a lifestyle I've chosen, it's my passion. My first encounters with agriculture began on our family small farm located in Northeast Ohio. We've always had animals around the farm, including horses, goats, chickens, and occasionally cows and pigs. But agriculture didn't become a passion of mine until high school. There, I was introduced to my high school's FFA chapter. I became very involved very quickly. I attended every meeting, competed in various competitions, and I received every award and degree possible from chapter, state, and national level. I even was an officer for 2 years. Before I knew it, though, my high school career was coming to a close and graduation was around the corner. I was still undecided what I wanted to pursue after high school. My next step became more clear to me after a conversation with my wonderful ag educator, Laura Logan. She could see my passion for agriculture before I did and suggested I should go into agribusiness. After researching many different ag careers in colleges, I decided to go to Kent State Tuscarawas and major in agribusiness. I am now a third-year student, and I can see opportunities for me at ag seems endless. I have 3 years of retail experience from working at Tractor Supply. With that experience and the education from school, I will be interning at S&S Equipment this summer located in Carrollton, Ohio. There I will be a salesman. I couldn't imagine doing anything else with my life. Even with the challenges we are facing today, my choice to pursue a career in agriculture seems more promising than ever. People are actually understanding how much agriculture affects their daily lives. With that being said, I believe in the future of agriculture, and I'm proud to be part of it.
Up in Clark County, Ohio, agriculture has always been a big part of my life. Whether it was raising cattle alongside my family, showing cattle and other livestock at the Clark County Fair, serving on the Clark County Beef and Dairy Committees, or serving as 5 different agricultural queens. Agriculture has been a main staple of both my adolescent and adult years. Clark County is the birthplace of 4-H, so some of my earliest memories were watching my older sister work with her steers. So I learned to appreciate agriculture at a very young age. But even though I was raised around cows, I was terrified to even walk one. I showed goats until I finally became comfortable enough to start showing dairy feeders, and eventually I bought my first beef steer, and it was one of the best decisions I've made. Raising my own cattle has been such a big part of my life, and it's taught me respect, responsibility, and hard work, and made me who I am today. I've been able to give back to our 4-H program by becoming a 4-H volunteer for the club Too Hot to Trot. It's so nice to be able to help these kids find their passion within agriculture and be a positive role model like the ones who made sure my show days were a great experience. But agriculture isn't about showing in 4-H and playing with animals. Agriculture is a way of life for many Americans, and it's an industry that feeds us and other countries. Being a Miss Agriculture Queen has given me a platform to advocate for farmers who are struggling to keep their farms afloat in such difficult times. They need our support now more than ever. There are so many small family farms who are having to sell all livestock because they can't afford to continue and running their small operations. These men and women rely on their family farms to keep food on their tables as well as ours. I've always been getting my dairy feeders from small farms like these, so it hurts me to see this happening. This is an industry worth fighting for. That's it.
I often get asked, what does agriculture mean to me? And there's so many answers to what it means to me. Agriculture is something that is never ending. It goes on and on and on for so many reasons. Agriculture is a big influence in my life and in my family's life. Ever since I was little, I have grown up on a farm. My family farms 600 acres. We are a grain farm. We farm beans, wheat, corn, and our wheat, we even actually bale it. So we take those bales, we buck them, we put them into semi-trailers, and we even load them into the barn. On average, we do about 3,000 bales a year, and that takes family. That takes a group of people to be able to do that, to get together, to form a connection, to be able to work together. When it comes to agriculture, it's a never-ending game. It goes on and on and on. You don't work in hours, you work in acres. And that's what agriculture is. Agriculture never stops. It's constantly improving every single day. It goes from here to there. It's never stopping. Agriculture is constantly changing. It is the backbone of the world, and people don't realize that. With a lot of things that have been going on recently with the COVID-19, people have realized how essential farming is. Without farming, we wouldn't be where we are today. You know, I can faithfully tell you, I can walk out to the field right now and give you a population of how many plants per acre there are in the field. Once that starts growing and once it starts to blossom and bloom and the fields start getting pods on the beans and the corn starts to get its ears and the pollination comes in, I can tell you what stage the plants are in. I can tell you an estimate of yield on how much you're going to get out of it. To me, that's what agriculture is. Without agriculture, we would not have the clothing on our backs. We would not eat. We would not have the houses we live in today. We would be nowhere. We wouldn't have transportation. We would not be able to do the things that we do. And you have to take a moment to realize, like, wow, I think that farming is a reason why we are so involved in everything that we are. If it wasn't for farming, we wouldn't be where we are today. And you have to thank a farmer for doing all this. Agriculture is the backbone of the United States, the backbone of the world. It is our future. And without agriculture, we won't be anywhere and we won't get anywhere. And that's what agriculture is to me. It is the backbone of the world. It's what we need. And without agriculture, we'd have nothing. We wouldn't be where we are today. So, thank you.
Agriculture to me means passion and growth. My love for agriculture started when I was just a baby. My mom would take me in my baby carrier to our pig operation, where she would sit me down where she was doing chores, and I'd be mesmerized by what she was doing. As I grew older, I fell in love with being in the barn and helped feeding our rents, cleaning our pens, and also helped walk our pigs. My parents then graciously enrolled me in 4-H as a Clover Bud and then as a 4-H member. I wanted to diversify myself not only in livestock, but with equine projects, small animals, sewing, and much more. I became heavily involved in 4-H and wanted to grow more as a leader, so I then took part in various county activities, such as being on Junior Fair Board, Food and Fashion Board, Awareness Team, being a camp counselor, and an adult staff member. Holding various officer positions not only in my club but the county activities
helped me enhance my leadership skills, and also helped me gain confidence. This enabled me to not only attend a state workshop, but also a national 4-H workshop as well. Gaining confidence I needed also helped me run for County Fair Queen in 2017. In 2017, I was crowned the Wayne County Junior Fair Queen. I traveled to 50 county fairs in Ohio and one in New York. Even though my time expired as a 4-H member, I then became a 4-H advisor because I wanted to share my passion of agriculture with the younger members. This then led me to major in agricultural communications and minoring in youth development. I wanted to expose myself in the industry and gain a different perspective, so I then got a job at a dairy farm. I fell in love with the dairy industry and now work at 3 different dairy farms. Working at 3 different dairy farms is a lot of work, but my passion is stronger than ever and I could not be happier. Waking up at 2:45 in the morning, getting ready to feed calves or milk cows, not knowing what the day will bring on for me is something that excites me. I'm so glad I've been able to be exposed in the dairy industry and get a first-hand perspective of what really happens. I've learned that farmers don't wake up to an alarm clock, they rise because of their strong passion to do what they love. Being heavily involved in the dairy industry and also being an AgCom major has made me realize the struggle agriculture faces. Some of these struggles relate around misconceptions, which is often related to social media. Being an advocate is my job to advocate others with factual information, whether that be on social media, at educational booths or events, at fairs, in person, or online. An example of this would be myself being able to volunteer at the Ohio Pork Council educational booth at the Ohio State Fair. I'm able to interact with different fairgoers, educate them about the sows and the piglet exhibit that we have. There's often a big gap between farmers and consumers, and it is my job to educate others to help close the gap. I've learned that people often form habits when they're younger, and this is why I created my own dairy educational program for elementary students. I learned that around 97% of the kids had no idea where their milk comes from, which was shocking. One of my goals is to educate the younger generation. In the future, I see myself working with different counties across the state to create different ag educational programs within their elementary schools. I'm not sure what the future holds for me, but I know I will be rooted in agriculture. Thank you.
Welcome judges, queens, and sponsors. I am Tammy Lynn Messink, your 2020 Claremont County Elite Miss Agriculture USA. Agriculture has become the livelihood of us all, feeding, clothing, and sheltering us. But what does agriculture mean to me? It means family, tradition, and peace. Family consists of love, compassion, and support. I was lucky enough to grow up with all of these things. My family sat around the dinner table every night with produce from our garden and local farm. Whether it was shucking corn with my mom or picking strawberries with my daughter, agriculture has created these memories I cherish. My immediate extended family had a tradition of volunteering in our agricultural community through our county fair. Our fair week would start by us all gathering together in our small town to watch the firemen's parade. We would then continue our week by showing animals at the fair and volunteering in the food and pot booths to raise money for the local organizations. I feel that it is important to instill in our children the traditions that have been passed on to us. I find great peace and comfort in agriculture, knowing that I'm providing food for my family and caring for our animals. Per Psychology Today, developing a bond with an animal can help people develop a better sense of self-worth, trust, and stabilize their emotions. Livestock became a large part of my life after I lost my mother to cancer and my daughter joined 4-H. Together we became heavily involved in our local pork producer association, breeding and raising pigs to be shown at fairs. Memories made in the barn will stay in our hearts forever. Agriculture is a part of who I am. I can imagine any other way of life. To me, agriculture is family, tradition, and peace. Thank you for allowing me to share my agricultural journey with you. honored to serve and blessed to represent the mothers and adult volunteers of my county. I am Tammy Lynn Messink, your 2020 Claremont County Elite Miss Agriculture USA.
A phrase I have always loved is that without agriculture, you would be naked, starving, and sober. I love that phrase because it's true. But a phrase I love even more is that with agriculture, up to 1/3 of known cancers can be prevented. Why is that so important to me? Because I am a cancer survivor. On the same day as my triplets' 15-month well check, I myself had to have an egg-sized lump on my neck assessed. And after further testing and imaging, a decision was made with the thyroid team at the James Cancer Center to just remove that lump. But the day of surgery came, and it turned into a full thyroidectomy and radical neck dissection. This means they removed all of my thyroid and over 20 lymph nodes. And when pathology returned, it turns out I had 3 malignant tumors on my thyroid, and over 1/3 of those lymph nodes were also positive. This put me at a higher risk for the cancer coming back, so I turned to survivorship care. There, a registered dietitian at Ohio State shared with me the following recommendations for diet and lifestyle. These recommendations come from the American Institute of Cancer Research and have been studied and shown to prevent up to 1/3 of cancers and cancers returning or recurrence. These recommendations include being lean without being underweight, or if that's a struggle, just trying to maintain. It also means getting 30 minutes of activity daily, which can be broken down. Eating a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and beans. Limiting consumption of fatty, highly processed foods, fast food, and sugary drinks. Limiting alcohol. Limiting red meat to only 18 ounces weekly. And also trying to avoid relying on supplements for vitamins and needed nutrition. We need to get those from our food. This can be accomplished through a plant-based diet. No, that does not mean vegetarian or vegan. It does mean choosing your food closest to its natural state. It provides your essential nutrients, vitamins, minerals, fibers, and it is shown to not only decrease your risk of cancer, but also obesity, heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes. So this is a great diet all around. All of these things, though, are so reliant on agriculture. Another common misconception of a plant-based diet is that these things need to be organic, GMO-free, all those buzzwords. That's also not true. My recommendation, shop at your local farmers markets. Use community-based agriculture. Buy into a plan. Just go to your local supermarket and visit the meat counter and the produce department. All of those things are going to support local agriculture. All of those things make a difference, not only to your health, but to your local farmer. And so what does agriculture mean to me? It means a future with my loved ones.